Welcome to the House of Muscle Moderns, where we celebrate the biggest and baddest and most importantly newest muscle cars on the planet. This is the 2018 Camaro ZL1 1LE. Now Chevrolet says it's the biggest, baddest and best handling Camaro ever built. Is it? Well, we've flown all the way to Canada to find out. With 16 corners, a half-mile straight, changing elevations, and a total length of 3 miles, Area27 Raceway in British Columbia, and the roads surrounding it, made for the perfect place to experience the new 2018 Camaro ZL1 1LE. But if you think that's the only reason we're here, think again.
The 1LE started out back in Gen 3 in 1989 when the racing series, the Canadian Players Series, they couldn't get the car around the track. It wouldn't stop, it wouldn't go, it wouldn't turn. So they came to Chevrolet Engineering and asked for help. And so they started out with increasing the brakes, putting Caprice brakes and Corvette calipers on the Camaro. They increased the pickup points on the fuel tank so they could get around the track without running out of fuel. And then of course they updated the suspension bits, and that became the 1LE RPO. What we did for the ZL1 1LE, we've got the first Street Cup Supercar tire from Goodyear, which is a phenomenal tire with a 1.1G sustained grip. We've also got a Multimatic damper system, and if you're not familiar, they're known for Formula One. Camaro's been the selection for Multimatic to work with. We're very proud to do that. And then of course we have the aero bits, which are the front splitter, the dive planes, very noticeable front end. There are air strakes underneath, designed rocker panels for airflow, and then this huge carbon fiber wing on the back that makes 300 pounds of downforce.
The power plant is the same as the regular ZL1 Camaro, which is to say it's a 6.2 liter LT4 that's supercharged that makes 650 horsepower and 650 pound-feet of torque. By adding the 1LE package to the standard ZL1 Camaro, Chevrolet has created a car that is now capable of going to basically any racetrack on the planet and beating up on cars that cost 3 times as much. Guys, this thing downright boogies. It is a hell of a sports car. When you go to the racetrack, you gotta think of it like this, right? A lot of guys will show up in very high dollar, high brand cars, and that's all fun. But the fact is, when you pull up in something like a Camaro, you're going to get people that are going to stop and they're going to ask you questions. They're going to wonder, well, what is this thing with the carbon fiber rear wing on the back? What is this thing with the dive planes on the front and the carbon fiber hood? Now, you don't have to tell them. You can simply take the car, go out on track, and all of a sudden, just rip them apart because, God, geez, this thing is good. And it's not like a little good, it's really good. So the tires on this thing are the brand new Goodyear Supercar Eagle F1 3R tires, and they were designed specifically for the debut of the Camaro ZL1 with the 1LE package. You're going to notice massive tread blocks. You're going to notice with 305s in the front and 325s out back that you have a massive amount of mechanical grip. And what that grip means is that you will have the ability to catch the guy in front of you and, more importantly, beat him around the racetrack, which is exactly what the 1LE was meant to do. Something else to keep in mind with the 1LE package, you lose the option of the 10-speed automatic from the standard ZL1 and instead get one of the slickest 6-speeds in the business. Oh, and for those whose heel-toe game is a bit on the weak side, it comes with automatic rev matching to keep you from locking up that 373 rear end on downshifts. I have 4 different driving modes. I have Touring, Sport, Track, and Snow. Each one is pretty self-explanatory. If you want to go to Sport modes, everything stiffens up a little bit, your steering gets a little tighter. Track mode. We have different traction control settings within that mode, so you can adjust as you see fit. And the nice part is Chevrolet does, if you want to be a total hooligan, gives you the option of turning everything off. So if you want to just sit there and blaze tires and do donuts, you can do that too. With 650 pound-feet of torque, why wouldn't you? Aside from the fact that tires are expensive, but otherwise, you kind of need to do it every now and then. There are some pretty trick things that you get when you get the 1LE package. For one, you get dive planes up front that look amazing. You have a carbon fiber air extractor that sits dead center of the satin matte hood. You have a beautiful rear wing on the back that gives you 300 pounds of downforce at 150 miles an hour, and these beautiful slotted 19-inch wheels that are actually lighter than the ones in the standard ZL1 Camaro. So what do all those visual cues mean when you see a 1LE packaged car? Well, basically what it means is that you're gonna be faster. The car has a lot of downforce, it has more grip, it obviously has kind of a cooler presence to it. But in short, everything that was done on the 1LE was to give you confidence as a driver to go out there and really beat the sun out of this thing and get the most out of yourself as a driver, and also evolve as a driver because of the capabilities of the car. And you know, there aren't really a lot of cars that can kind of push you to that next level. This is one of those rare beasts.
All of this 1LE goodness stems from the folks at Chevrolet being car enthusiasts first and engineers second. For example, the electronically controlled suspension on the standard ZL1 has been replaced on the 1LE with adjustable Multimatic DSSV spool valve shocks that allow one to adjust the front end ride height a total of 10 millimeters in either direction. There are also adjustments that allow for up to 3.7 degrees of negative camber. While the Multimatic suspension is sublime on the track, on the street it's a bit rough. I mean, combine that with the super stiff sidewalls of the DOT R comps, the lack of sound insulation, and you may find yourself wishing for a standard ZL1. And get this, as long as you do not modify your car in any way from factory stock, it's covered in the event of a mechanical failure whilst on the racetrack. Now, this is not to say it's covered if you're in a race, but for those looking to have fun at a local track event or HPDE day, having your car's warranty intact is an unprecedented move and a first by any manufacturer ever.
Now, a lot of you guys are going to look at me and they're going to be like, well, Mike, you know, you sound like a Chevy commercial. And all I have to say to that is, I don't really care, okay? The fact of the matter is a good car is a good car. And that doesn't matter whether it's a Ford or a Porsche or a Chevy or an Audi, it really makes no difference. When a manufacturer puts this amount of time and energy into something, and you take it out and you road test it, the key is to try to really give an unbiased opinion. And as somebody who has the privilege of driving everything, and having taken this thing out on the racetrack and beating it to death lap after lap after lap, and then having a beautiful road drive with it, you come away with a couple of points. One is that it's comfortable. Two, the amount of tech in here is more than anything that I will ever need, and that goes from the beautiful gauge cluster to the navigation to the audio system. Three, as hard-edged as this car is, you can use it as a daily driver. It's fine. I mean, I have heated and air-conditioned seats. I have leg room. I have headroom. So we've got you covered there. But more importantly, it's just a good car. And when somebody just builds a good car, people should know about it, which is kind of one of the reasons I'm really happy that we got a chance to get behind the wheel of this thing. Oh, and did I mention 650 horsepower? And 650 pound-feet of torque? Because if that doesn't get you going, I don't know what's going to.
Make no mistake, the 2018 Camaro ZL1 1LE is a track car for the street, not a street car for the track. This is a bulldog in a world of greyhounds, and its uncompromising commitment to performance makes it not only one of the best values at just over $73,000, but one of the best performance cars we've driven, period. Before you go, make sure to subscribe to the House of Muscle channel by clicking below, and we'll make sure you never miss a new episode of the House of Muscle.